Bonjour! Welcome to another episode of Cheesy Michelle. I'm Michelle. So today I'm going to be trying a recipe I have never done before here on the channel or ever, period. This is number 17 in our Christmas countdown. Going to be chocolate covered pistachio pound cake. For this recipe, you'll need the following ingredients: all-purpose flour, baking powder, sea salt, pistachios, fine sugar, so this is extra fine, it's also called baker's sugar, honey, 2 sticks of unsalted butter, vanilla extract, almond extract, 3 eggs, sour cream, and then when we get to the end, we'll be making our glaze with some cocoa, powdered sugar, and butter, and a little bit of hot water. So let's get started. First thing you're going to want to do is to prepare a loaf pan. This is a 9x5 loaf pan, so I have greased it and floured it. You'll also want to heat your oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Then, in a small bowl, we're going to combine, this is 2 cups, which is 240 grams of all-purpose flour. With that, we want to mix together 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of the sea salt, and this is 1/2 cup of the shelled pistachios, finely ground. So I measured it and then ground them up. Measured, that was their shelled measure. Still missed a little bit in there. Just going to give that a stir to combine. We'll set that aside for a moment. Come over to our mixer here, and we have 1 cup, which of course is 2 sticks, of the unsalted butter. To that, I'm going to be adding 1 cup of the fine granulated sugar, or should I say extra fine, super fine. That's the other way it's also called a super fine. It has a few different names that people call it. 2 tablespoons of honey, 1/2 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract. We will now beat these together. Now that we've got that cream together, we're going to be adding our eggs one at a time. There's going to be 3 total eggs. After you add each one, you're going to want to mix it until it's just combined. Now that I have all 3 eggs mixed in, we're going to be alternating our flour mixture with a 1/2 cup of sour cream. So we're going to be adding them in alternating. Now we will take the prepared batter and put it into our prepared pan. Sorry about the angle. try to kind of spread that into the pan as evenly as I can. Looks lovely. Get my little last bit off of there. Once we have this in the oven, we're going to bake it for 1 hour or until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. Right at the 1 hour mark, we have taken this out of the oven, and I did do a fork test on it to make sure it would come out clean. Okay, we have a little bit of raw batter. So we're going to need to bake that just a slight bit longer because we do have a little raw piece, and you can see a kind of a trace through here. So I'm probably going to go another 5 minutes. Once I'm finished with that, I'm going to let it cool completely before taking it out of the pan. All right, so this has been resting and cooling now. We're going to make the glaze. In this bowl, I have already measured out 1 cup of powdered sugar. To that, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of powdered cocoa. That's the unsweetened cocoa powder, I should say. And 2 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. It says we are to combine those. Okay, that's about as combined as that wants to go for me. And now we are to be adding in a tablespoon of hot water at a time until it reaches the consistency that we want. I'll want to stay in my whisk. I should use my other one. I have to use another one for sure. It said to 2 to 3. Since I'm not getting a full tablespoon at a time, I might have to do a little bit extra. Okay, so I do not recommend using a whisk to do this. I think maybe a just regular spoon would be easier because it just wants to stay clumped in there. That is not pleasant to deal with. And we're definitely going to need some more liquid. That's too stiff. Now we're starting to get there. And I think I'm going to put just a tiny bit more to make it a little bit more of a spreadable consistency. We'll now pour this over the top. And I'm going to let some of it drizzle down the sides, of course, to make it prettier. I got a little bit clumpy there at the end, but other than that, we're good. Then we're going to take some chopped up pistachios and add those atop. Just a tad bit more there. And I think we're good. That looks really nice. So I'm going to let that set for a minute so that it says you can, it depends probably on how hot you got the frosting, but you can put it in the fridge to help it set. So I might try that for a few minutes. It says even 30 minutes you might need to get it to set up. And then I'll see you at final plating for our taste test. And here we are at final plating. So I decided I would take a slice from the center so we could see the crumb really well. And also so that it would have the best thing there for the topping. Would have that end bit on there. So you can see we have a nice crumb here. I'm going to give it a taste now. And see how it is. It's very pistachio. It's wonderful. I love pistachios. So if you love pistachios, this will definitely be a hit with you or anybody else you know that happens to love them. There's just enough chocolate on the top to make it really tasty as well. And I hope that you've enjoyed this episode of Cuisine Michel. Please be sure to share this with your friends. Leave me a comment to know what you think. And keep watching our series. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Au revoir.